What's up, everyone? Um, so this is oh god, where to even start? Um, so a couple weeks ago, I had a friend of mine that was like, "Hey, um, someone you may be interested in," and for whatever reason, she thought this was insanely attractive, and I'm going, I don't feel that way at all. But let's entertain this, see where it goes. And without going into really overt details, at what point do you sacrifice your morals and values? Um, I've never been someone who, goes to a bar and just kind of goes, you'll do for tonight. Um, that's never been how I've ever operated. And things were said, and enough of who I am as a person, my character, my being, what defines me, had been put into question and put in such a fashion to where I started to get uncomfortable. And all while that's going on, if you've ever watched Bert Kreischer stand up, there was one where he was talking about how he used to be this, grand stallion that was roaming free, and all of a sudden this person comes by and offers him carrots, and carrots are blowjobs. And slowly that took the stallion and tamed it and was like, now you're going to do these things. And I couldn't help but feel that I was going through the exact same thing in this situation. Um, I am, as I've stated before, I am shy. And this person is not at all. She isn't. Um, but there's enough of a dichotomy between us that it's where I am strong, she is weak, and where she is strong, I am weak. And her thing is, get me to the point to where I can be intimate with you and everything's changed and everything's fine. And that's where I tend to be my most shy. Because I'm not a confident person. Um, not in many aspects, but there's a few that I'm pretty all right at, and even just by that own admission, I don't ever really say that I'm confident in those things. That I do okay, or I do well enough to kind of really just kind of go with everything. And I tend not to rock the boat, and I tend not to be too pushy on things. Well, I had said in the very beginning that I was looking for a relationship, and she said she absolutely is not. She's looking just for like a friends with benefit thing. And I've never been someone that does that kind of thing, but I just went, all right, let's give this a try and just kind of see where things go. Again, there's some personal things that I'm not going to get into, um, but suffice to say that choices that I had made in my life had been mocked and in many ways kind of looked down upon as unbelievable. And when I told her that I had been outside of relationship status for 17 years, I have been 14 years and counting, whenever I was with someone that cared about me crossing the finish line, if you know what I mean, to not have this be overtly raunchy or whatever, or gratuitous. And 11 years since I had been intimate with anyone at any capacity. And me telling her that I was shy, and those three timeline facts, she just could not and would not and does not believe me that that is the case, and has since become even more aggressive to try and break the streak, if you will. And despite me trying to tell her my concerns about, I don't, it's not a default setting for me. It's not that I don't, but it's just not a default setting. So, like, there has to be some understanding of where I'm coming from before we can get to the point of, okay, this is where this is acceptable. And met up with her for Froyo yesterday, which I've had frozen yogurt, but never actually from Froyo. So it was a little weird because I'm going, wait, I got to go do this myself. And we were sitting there talking, and she laid this on me. I am not getting anything out of this. At least nothing that I need. And what I need is to be physical, and I don't understand why you're not there and why you won't let me get you there. And it was at that point to where I just kind of went, there comes a point in your life where the writing was on the wall to begin with, but you still kind of want to go give it a try a little bit. And for me, it was, okay, if I can just calm her down to where I'm comfortable with it, then maybe it'll be okay. But then she kept flipping on, well, what about what I'm not comfortable with? And I'm just kind of sitting here going, when you make a comment of the friends with benefits I had before, and then the friends with benefits I have with you, and the friends with benefits I have after you, that alone just kind of went, so there's already a plan to replace me, and I'm not okay with that. And that's where I was like, you're trying to find a way to convince me to give up on my values and my morals just so that you can feel something, pun completely intended, and innuendo even more intended, on a timeline that I'm not ready to do, and then spit in my face and say that you're getting nothing out of just meeting up with me and talking. And I was like, all right, I got to step away from this. I'd been on dates with a couple of girls, and like, the physical part is important to me, but it's not in the top 5. Can I be with someone and just kind of be me, be goofy, be the nerd, be the weird, sensitive dude? If not, well, then you gotta go. And when you know yourself well enough and you start looking at things and going, is it that I'm not feeling this, or is that is it that I'm trying to talk myself out of it? Because I can talk myself out of anything, fucking literally anything. I talk myself out of something good, something that I want, something bad, something I don't want. I talk myself out of all of it. And with that bit of information in her knowledge box, I sat there and I contemplated why she seems to be pushing for this. And I think it's purely just for conquest purposes. Can I get to the point of getting this dude to compromise his morals and values for just some fleeting moments? And so I went, I can't do it. Those that I've talked to about this before all gave me the green light, like, fucking go for it. But I don't know. I think my shyness has taken over and my uncertainty in a lot of things. I'm gonna try to get that out for a couple minutes now. Because it seemed like any time that she pushed and aggressively pushed, I just backpedaled. I back up against the wall, and next thing you know, I'm like Homer trying to phase into those bushes and just disappear because I'm going, I'm not okay with any of this. And the fact that you aren't listening of what I'm comfortable with, and then telling me that I'm not listening to what you're comfortable with, and at some point one of us has to bend or break, and I just decided that I'm going to break. And I just like, I want someone that desires me, sure, but I don't want someone that's going to sit there and go off on certain aspects of my life and certain things that have played out the way they have played out, simply because I think that's a low blow. To me, that's like the equivalent of if you're in the middle of an argument or a debate with someone and they call you an idiot. I'm going, oh, so you automatically lose because you go into name calling. And that's exactly how it kind of felt. And I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just being a giant chicken about it. Maybe I'm being just a giant pansy. But it's one of those things to where it's like, I know what I want. And while some aspects of that is what I want, to be that forceful and aggressive about it and not be looking for what I'm looking for, and what you're looking for is not what I'm able to give, then why keep like pushing on that throttle? You know, you're in fifth gear, and I've actually put it in fucking neutral for a little bit because, you know, I've been, for lack of a better term, I've been reclusive for at least a decade now, and just kind of gave up. And I know it seems kind of contradictory at the moment right now for me to say, well, here's someone who's pursuing you and you're just getting rid of them. I am, but like I said, for me, it just, I don't know. When I was told I'm not getting anything out of this, I think that's where my decision was finally made. Because before I was tentatively, you know, like a beaten dog, slowly trying to come forward to get that treat, and I was coming a couple steps closer, and I was getting close enough to where I could smell the treat, and then you just snap or something happens, and then all that work was and progress was just gone. I think that's what that was. You know, person with the treat just sneezed and freaked the dog out, and dog went back in the corner, and just like, I'm good here for the rest of my life. I don't want to go anywhere near all that. And that's where I'm at. yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a giant pansy, or maybe I'm overthinking it, or whatever. But I just, when it doesn't have that good feeling, you, you just kind of have to move on from it. And I feel like there was a lot of, you just need to listen to me and do what I tell you to do so I can get what I want, and then you'll feel better. And I'm going, that's not how this works. We can compromise a little bit, but even on the compromise, it was like after seeing you 3 times and on 2 dates, you told me that you're getting nothing from this. And that was just kind of a stab in my heart of just kind of going, okay, well, whatever effort you think this is, it's not good enough. And then I'm going, so then what effort, if I put in, is good enough? So I don't know. um Feel free to make fun of me in the comments, but this has been weighing on my mind for a few days now. And yeah, um yeah, be safe.